everyone, it is Echo Music and I am back for the next 911 Lone Star episode review. Today we're going to talk about episode 4-5 titled Human Resources. And I really like this episode because it highlighted two extremely powerful and beautiful women characters on the show, Marjan and Grace. So let's watch some scenes and talk about their storylines.
Linus, you know you're only supposed to call 911 if you have an emergency.
But this is an emergency. It's due tomorrow. Miss Olsen says if we don't turn in our assignments every day, we don't get to go to the pizza party. It's so close.
Oh,
Please help.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't realize how much was at stake. What question are you stuck on?
7 times 7, 7 times 8, 7 times 9. I have to do all my 7s tonight.
Oh, come on, Linus. The 7s are easy.
No, they're not. They're impossible.
Not if you know the trick.
There's a trick?
Mm-hmm.
What trick?
Do you know the happy birthday song? If you sing the answers to the 7s times tables, it sounds just like happy birthday.
That's not real.
Okay. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, and 63.
That's awesome. Hang on, I have to read these down.
So we're going to start out with Grace's storyline. So Grace initially gets a call from a young kid by the name of Linus. And Linus needs help with his math homework. Now, this isn't exactly a 911 emergency, but Grace is so cute in this scene. I mean, she has such a big heart. She could have easily hung up on Linus, but she didn't, and she actually helped him with his math homework, which is adorable. And can I say, can we get more of Grace's singing? I mean, she has such a beautiful voice. So Linus ends up calling a second time to 911. And this is because he burnt mac and cheese and he couldn't figure out how to clean the dish. Now Grace is starting to question, Linus's parents and his mom specifically, because his mom seems to have just left him alone to use the oven and didn't send him to school. And when the mom ends up coming in and finding out that Linus called 911, you can kind of hear in the background slurring her words a little bit. And this makes Grace question whether she could be possibly drunk. Now, if I were in that dispatcher role, I probably would have immediately sent a police cruiser over to check out. But Grace didn't want to jump to conclusions. Grace is a lovely woman, and if a police cruiser found one thing out of place, they would have taken the kid and contacted social services, which could have been a whole issue, and maybe nothing was wrong. So Grace was really lovely in that she didn't want to jump to a conclusion without knowing all the facts.
Well, there's this boy. Sweet little boy. He keeps calling into 911 for little stuff. Help with his math homework and cleaning the dishes.
Hey, I should have thought of that.
Stop it. I really think something might be going on at home. Like something bad, but if I'm wrong and I send a cop over there, then they could take that boy from his mom.
That's scary.
Yeah, it is scary, but it's not as scary as me being right and then not doing anything. And the not knowing that's what's bothering me.
Who sounds like you need to find out?
It does. It does sound like that. Thank you so much, my sweet husband. How do you suggest I go about doing that?
I imagine you have this boy's address, yes? Okay, so why don't you go knock on the door, find out for yourself, and if you're wrong, there's no harm, no foul.
Oh, you mean now?
So Grace is really struggling with this decision on whether to send a police cruiser over. So she ends up talking to Judd, and I love Judd and Grace's relationship. They are so beautiful together. I love the couple so much on the show as well. And Judd suggests that she should just go over to the house and check it out herself. So they do. And when Grace gets there, the mom actually falls unconscious and she's having a stroke. Now, Grace panics a little and she ends up calling Tommy. But at the end of the day, they were able to get the mom to the hospital in time to save her life. I mean, Grace was a hero here. Grace didn't jump to conclusions, and because of that, she was able to keep her family together and save this family. I mean, if she had just sent the police cruiser over, the mom could have ended up dying. And so, way to go, Grace. She nailed this episode. Love her so much.
Is there anything else you want to tell me?
Yes, there is actually.
I've said my piece.
Captain Strand rebuilt this firehouse from the studs up twice.
No. Thank you.
He gets the best out of every firefighter here.
No, ma'am, there's not.
So whatever he's done this time, I assure you, his intentions were good.
I appreciate that. I do. But this inquiry is not into your captain.
No? So who's it about then?
It's about you, firefighter.
All right, let's talk about the badass that is Marjan. So here in one of the very first scenes, we see an AFD HR representative show up to the 126 fire station because someone had filed a complaint against one of them. So she's here to, interview everyone at the 126 for this complaint. And you could see that everyone at the 126 is thinking it's Owen. I mean, I thought it was Owen. I mean, Owen has a great track record with impulse control. I mean, you remember when he slapped Billy across the face? So it wouldn't have surprised me if this complaint was against Owen, but turns out it wasn't. It was against Marjan.
And that's not why we're here.
That's right. The reason we're here is because of my inappropriate language. It was unprofessional and unacceptable. My job was to protect you, not insult you, Mrs. Geralds. What I said, calling you a crazy lady, it was out of line and it was messed up.
And hurtful.
And hurtful.
And probably a little sexist.
That certainly wasn't my intent, but I am so ashamed I said it. I'm sorry, truly, Mrs. Geralds.
That was beautiful. Wasn't that beautiful?
Very heartfelt.
I could feel the sincerity.
It's real.
Good. You should do it just like that.
Do what?
What you just did. Apologize.
I just did.
The Geralds would like you to publicly post your apology on social media.
So do you remember in episode 2 of this season when Marjan descended upon a helicopter to save a woman trapped in a house that's being stolen by her ex-husband? Yeah, well, they are back together again, the woman and her ex-husband. I mean, how is this guy not in jail? He stole a freaking house. Is beyond me. And this woman is the one that files the complaint because Marjan called her crazy because the woman didn't want to leave the house to begin with. I mean, woman, you were kind of crazy. I mean, you could have died if you stayed in that house. Anyways, Marjan realized that was probably a mistake. She probably never should have called her crazy, and she's quick to apologize. Which is good and all, except this couple doesn't want just a quick and easy apology. They want a public apology, and they want Marjan to post their GoFundMe page. Now, Marjan, as you know, is known as Firefox and has quite a massive following on social media, and she's okay with, publicly coming out and apologizing. I mean, she made a mistake, and she's willing to accept that and apologize. But she's unsure if she really should be posting their GoFundMe and soliciting money out of her followers who look up to her. So this creates a very big integrity issue. And in one case, she doesn't want, to solicit money again, but if she doesn't do this, she could very well get fired or suspended from the AFD. So as you see throughout this episode, Marjan really struggles with this decision on what to do.
Hey, Firefox here. You guys know I've always been about making people feel seen, heard, and safe. Well, recently, I let you guys down. I screwed up. In the heat of a dangerous situation, I called a woman crazy. Her name is Lila Geralds, and she deserved so much better than that. So for that, Lila, I'm sorry. I should never have called you crazy. I should have called you a greedy opportunist. With the full blessing of the AFD, Lila and her husband tried to coerce me to cash in on you guys. I can't work for a place that forces me to compromise my integrity, that makes me feel unsafe for being who I am. And if I don't feel safe, there is no way of keeping you safe when I am sent to save you. So, effective immediately, I hereby am resigning from the AFD.
So after freezing up in the field, Marjan decides to resign from the AFD. Now, she does this because she values her integrity more than anything else, and she cannot, in good faith, solicit money from her followers based on a lie. Now, I truly admire this about Marjan, and I really love this storyline because I related to it so much. last summer, I actually went through a similar situation as Marjan, and I'm gonna just tell you the story right now. I've posted more about it on my social media, so you can go to this description and follow me and see that story. But this was a little bit about what happened with me. So in 2019, in December of 2019, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in management with a focus on the entertainment industry. Now, unfortunately, a few months later, COVID hit, and it became almost impossible for me to land a job in the entertainment industry. And so I've been stuck at home, and I've been trying to get this job that I've always dreamed of, and I haven't been able to get it. Well, last summer, I nailed my dream job. I got a job as an event manager for a convention company. I was on cloud nine. I was super excited. This was all I've ever wanted. But after 1 week of working for them, I noticed some things that were not good. They weren't paying people for their work. They were, not abiding by the contracts that they signed. There was blackmail involved. And I, in good faith, decided to leave the company because I chose to value my integrity more than anything else. And I could not be a part of something that was like that. And so I really, really loved how Marjan decided to go for, value her integrity over a dream job. She loved her job, but her integrity was more important. And so I respect that. And because of this story, I just fell in love with Marjan even more.
Love you, Marsh.
Me too, buddy. All right. Peace.
So Owen gives Marjan the bike as she says goodbye to the 126 crew. Now, one of the big reasons I love this show is because the 126 feels like a big family, and they are all devastated to see Marjan go because she is family to them. It was sad to see her go, but on the other hand, I'm super excited to see where this journey takes Marjan. I mean, she's got big things ahead. And it's not, I'll never see you again. She's still going to be friends. I mean, they're family. They're still going to stay in touch. So I'm excited to see what happens on Marjan's journey, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see this season what happens. So I love this episode. I love how it showcased two very strong women, and you don't see that a lot in many TV shows where it really showcases the women in an episode. So I really like that. However, this episode did not place in my top 5 favorite 911 Lone Star episodes. So my top 5 still stands at number 1, 3-4 Push, number 2, 4-4 Abandoned, number 3, 212 The Big Heat, number 4, 3-8 In the Unlikely Event of an Emergency, and number 5, Saving Grace. Now, it was a great episode. 4-5 was. I really liked it, but it didn't have me on the edge of my seat. It didn't have me crying the entire time or laughing or shaking. And I was a little upset that we didn't get anything on how Carlos is doing after being abducted by a serial killer. I mean, he clearly has got to be going through some sort of PTSD. So I was a little upset that we didn't get to see that. And those reasons alone kept it from placing in my top 5. Now, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. My dog is saying hi, as always. And giving me kisses, because she likes to do that. So again, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you put in the comments below what you thought of the episode. And I'll see you next week for another 911 Lone Star episode review.